Welcome to the Properties to Profit podcast. I'm Michael, your host. Excited to share with you my journey from a six-figure job to building a successful real estate business. Each episode will explore various aspects of real estate investing, from wholesaling and flipping to managing rentals. I'll share the lessons and insights I've gained, aiming to help you avoid mistakes and achieve your financial goals. Expect guest experts, valuable tips, and practical advice to guide you on your own real estate journey. Thank you for tuning in. If you find any value in this podcast, please subscribe, share, and follow me on social media. Let's turn properties into profits together. Hey guys, Michael here with Properties to Profit. And today, we're going to talk about the lessons in real estate and how if you let off the gas and don't pay attention to your numbers, and how can net you a loss of $250,000. This is probably one of the top 3 lessons I've learned during the real estate issues we've had since June of 2022. So let's go back, guys. As we know, market was super hot in 21, all of 20, and then 21. And I was starting my real estate career full time. August 17th was the day I was fired. And so I had to figure things out. So let's go back to Q2 of 22, right before this purchase actually happened. Things were cooking. We had gotten through first quarter and second quarter, and things were extremely hot. Every property we listed was flying off the market. We had listed, I think, 9 houses the first 2 quarters, and we had netted $1 million in flip profits at that point. And things were great. We were burring properties and they were all appraising, and we were burring them into 4% interest rates or better. It was amazing. Nothing to complain about. It didn't seem like the music was going to stop. Excuse me. It seemed like everything was moving in the right direction. Well, as we all know, or should know, I think sometimes we forget that sometimes, or at all times, what goes up must come down. And while prices maybe have not come down across the board, they're starting to struggle. And so we were winning. We couldn't see anything was going to happen. We didn't know enough. I had a construction team that was cranking. I had cash in the bank. At that point, we were sitting on 7 figures almost at all times. We couldn't do anything wrong. We were flipping houses. We had long-term rentals. We had Airbnbs. I owned a construction company. I had big apartments. I had it all. Like, things were great. Everything was cash flowing. No questions asked. You would ask me at that point, I thought I was going to own 1,000 doors in the next 2 years. Things were just up and up. But at the end of the day, I got sloppy. And I'm here to tell you how I brought this property, 808 Gilbert Street, look it up, and put money into it, and it didn't go well. And so what happened is another wholesaler had reached out to me, said, hey, I didn't want to buy it. Cash was tight on them. So I was like, great. We had some cash in the bank, like I said, 7 figures, and we bought 9 June of 2022. Right? Things were great. No issues. The comps backed it. We had the biggest house, so we were confident we could beat that. The area looked strong. A lot of money was being poured into that. The math made sense at the time. But as we all know, things don't always stay the same. Things can get better. They can get worse, or they could stay the same. And on paper, this property was a dream. It was a cash purchase that we ended up using a hard money. Our goal was to be an Airbnb. It was right by Children's Hospital. We thought it was going to appreciate significantly, and cash cow for a 5-bedroom house that close to Nationwide was going to be $75,000. We were hoping to be all in this property around 3.25, give or take, and we thought it was going to be worth over 4. And it looked great. And so this is kind of the business owner mentality, right? Everything's great. We're going to figure everything out until it's not great. And so we were stuck with a whole bunch of optimism. We bought in a hot market. We assumed it was going to go quick. We do the work, short period of time. And then we refi out and we start Airbnb this thing. We started on the construction, and then we forgot to realize that this is an older house, and my team had never done anything older than 70s. So they were doing stuff the same way you would on a 70s house. And this is a 1920 house. So they're skipping things. And when that happens, it just leads to other issues down the road, and you can't treat those houses the same way. This is only one of 4 houses I've done that are older than 1940. I've won 3 of them and lost on this one. And I'm sorry, one of 5. I've lost on 2. And so over time, when we were trying to clean up the construction, we realized the market was getting harder and our construction team just wasn't as good as we thought it was. We were getting hit with inspections all the time and what needed to be fixed. And then our contractors didn't want to go back and fix it. And that was all on me because I had a team that I thought was self managed. Well, they were self managed when they could take shortcuts. And as people got picky and picky, we realized they couldn't keep up with the quality of work that needed to be made. So we ended up cutting them late 22, early 23. And, we thought things would get better. Everyone was saying, "Oh, interest rates will come back down very quickly. They can't stay this high." Well, they've been saying that for almost 3 years at this point. 3 years they've been saying rates are gonna come down, and they are above 7%. At one point, I could have refied this at 5. But then we ran into break-ins happening, people living in the property. We had broken windows. We had AC units stolen. Um, when we had water lines breaking this thing, doing thousands of damage. We put the property on hold thinking, "Oh, the market's gonna get better in the spring." Well, we listed, and unfortunately, offers just didn't come in where we wanted them. We had tons of traction on it. People wanted it. But we were gonna take a loss on it. And at this time, it was gonna be a 25-30K loss. Um, Actually, it's gonna be probably a $75,000 loss, but 25,000 or so that I'd have to come out of pocket. And, I just didn't wanna do that. So I was like, "Oh, screw it. We're hold on to it. Everyone's telling me this market's gonna get better." Well, as we know, the market still hasn't gotten better. And so we eventually just listed this thing and I took the hit. Um, I am going to lose over $250,000 on this property, all in them. Uh, and there were a lot of lessons, and I want to share with you so that you didn't have to go through the same fate. We borrowed money for our 20% or 10% down payment with our hard money on this. They got paid back. We paid them back 9 months in. We knew that, and that's perks of having cash in the bank and not always using your cash. Is when a lender needs money, we've always been able to pay our lenders back. Um, and so we were able to pay them back, and then we were just able to take on the hard money loan. And unfortunately, when this came thing due, we still owed the bank 80K after payoff, after fees, everything. And the bank, because we had done close to 30-ish deals in the last 2 years with them and never had an issue. It wasn't easy, but we were able to work with them and come up with a payoff. I believe it's a 6-month payoff to where we'll pay it's about $80,000 that we'll pay them off. So no one's gonna lose on this deal except for me, which I'm okay with. It wasn't fun, but it taught us a lot. Um, and so things that have now changed since this property became a headache is we now track every week where the progress is a house on a whether it's a flip, anything on short-term debt, we track every week. Where is it at? Where's it at in refi? Where's it at in construction? Where's that in the sale process? So that no property ever gets left behind. We're checking out what's going out on the mortgages and what's coming back in on rent or any other additional cost. And when we decide to list a property, we're just gonna go forward and sell it. Since 2022, I think we've lost on 7 or 8 properties. This will be the one that hurts us the most probably because we could have saved over 100K if we would have sold this thing in 23 instead of holding it until early 25. This was late 23. And it cost us a ton of money. And unfortunately, we always hear, well, the longer you wait in real estate, the better off you'll be. Well, that wasn't the case here. And I want to share with you guys when you need to make a decision, get a bad debt off your books, you know you're going to lose on a property, just cut the ties and move on. In my opinion, I'm not sure it's always going to get better. And now I do think the market was going terrible. And so like maybe I experienced one of the worst ones. But I think going forward in life, when you've decided that this isn't the fit for you, that you guys don't want to move forward on this project or anything in a relationship in life, use that as a lesson to cut your loss and just move on. Learn from the mistake. It's okay. We all have mistakes. We're not all going to win. And especially in this game of real estate, anyone telling you that they've always winning probably isn't telling the truth and I'd run away. Real estate, I've always heard it can be forgiving, but in this project, I found out it's not always forgiving. This one was unforgiving, but it's also a great teacher. The market doesn't care about how much cash you have in the bank when you bought it. It cares whether you executed, adapted, and moved fast. And unfortunately, we didn't do what I have always done best. I didn't move fast. I didn't make decisions quick enough, and I thought emotionally. Well, sometimes in business, you're going to lose money, and you got to be able to set those emotions to the side and still do what's best for the business. And we didn't do that.
We've now set up a lot of KPIs to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And so we don't buy based on bank balance. If we have an extra $1 million in the bank, we're not going to buy 5 extra projects. Because just because we have the extra money doesn't mean we have the wherewithal to handle the management of that, right? This was an Airbnb. We had never done an Airbnb on this thing. It didn't work as a long-term rental, and I probably wouldn't have even wanted to flip it. It was a somewhat of an up-and-coming area, I'll say. At one point, 5 years ago, no one was touching those areas. So what I'm getting at is stick to what you do well. I don't own a construction business anymore. I'm not saying someday I won't, but I will make sure I find the right partner who can run it. I don't chase other people's strategies. The wholesaler that sold me this thought it was a great idea, and they were pushing this on me, and they weren't asking great questions like, "Hey, have you ever done this before?" Nope, they were just trying to make their paycheck. They made their paycheck, and it's no fault of them. It wasn't their responsibility. It was mine. The second you start to lose money on a property, man, cut your losses fast. I help a lot of sellers, a lot of first-time flippers, and they hold on to properties, hold on to properties, hold on to properties. And it always cost them if they would have just sold it in the first round. This isn't 2021 where prices are going up 15% a year. And I don't think those days are coming back anytime soon. So if you're in a tough spot, figure it out sooner. Make the fast decision, cut your loss, and move on. And if you've got a company like mine, make sure that you're having these weekly check-ins with all your deals that are on short-term debt so that you don't run into this situation. Figure out how to negotiate with the bank if you're behind on the mortgage or upside down. A lot of times on these short-term lenders, they don't want to go through a 12-month foreclosure because they know things could get worse and vacant properties can cost a lot of damage. So move quickly, have systems in place, and reach out if you need help. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to lose. Nothing's up and to the right. And you just got to learn your lessons. So I hope you guys learned from my $250,000 lesson on this property, 808 Gilbert. It wasn't a fun one, and I hope you guys don't go through the same things as I had. And remember, it's not about the loss. It's about minimizing the loss when they come, because you're always going to lose. And it's about how you view the loss. I've never viewed a loss as a loss or a failure. It's always just a lesson. And that lesson is a win. Because if you can avoid this same mistake in the future and do something better, more efficient, quicker, you'll be able to make more money. And I hope that helps you guys. I hope you guys learn from my lesson here so you don't have to go through the same thing. Wish you guys luck. Have a great day. And follow me on Instagram, realestatemike02.
Thank you for listening to the Properties for Profit podcast. I hope you found today's episode valuable. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and share it with others who might benefit. Follow me on social media for more updates and tips. Until next time, keep turning properties into profits.